Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm here checking out Criminal Girls 2 Party Favors. Why is this a thing? I mean, legit, why is this a thing? Like, Criminal Girls 1, not the best game in the world, not the worst game in the world either. I'm amazed that not only did it sell well enough in Japan to justify a sequel, but it sold well enough in the United States to justify localizing the sequel when we can't even get bloody Digimon World Next Order on the Vita over here. Despite the fact there's already an English translation, I don't even fucking know. So this is indeed a sequel to the original Criminal Girls game. What did they call the first one? Invite Only? I don't know what that had to do with anything, and I don't know what Party Favors has to do with this game either, but whatever. We'll go have a look at the options real quick. Now, you've got your typical voice sliders, and the voice volume is a little low for my taste, or maybe the background music is a little higher for my taste, but I'm going to keep it on default for the purpose of demonstration. You can select the difficulty here, and it's kind of annoying, honestly, because the thing about this options menu is that they've made Criminal Girls 2 a lot harder. So I've actually been stuck grinding for about an hour trying to get past this one really fucking annoying boss. And to come back here and turn down the casual would be to give me no reason to play anymore, because it'd just be so literally easy. So I've been playing on normal, and I'm going to show you the end of the first area, because that's basically all I can show you. Just because I've played enough Criminal Girls to know that Criminal Girls 2 is basically Criminal Girls 1 over again. Motivation input selection. This one actually confuses me a lot, because touch and key, or touch and buttons it should probably be, are entirely different sets of controls that could work perfectly fine together, but they just don't. And the two motivations that I have unlocked at this point, one works great on touch and bad on buttons and sticks. Meanwhile, the other one works great on sticks, but works bad on touch. So, it's really fucking annoying that you have to pick one or the other of these. And the worst thing is, you have to actually come back all the way out of the main menu to get to this option screen in order to change this option back. And if you want to do that, you have to close the game. You can't, like, go back to the main menu. I think if you quick save, you might be able to come back to the main menu, but I didn't try that. But there's no, like, go back to main menu option. There's not even a way to go to the options menu in-game. It makes no fucking sense. But anyway, we'll just load into my game that I've currently been playing. I have got 4 hours in the game so far. And as I said before, nearly an hour and a half of that has been trying to grind to get past this bloody boss. So, yeah, let me put it this way. They have not balanced this game properly, because, oh man, I'll get into how it works shortly. So we'll load into my game. This should put us into... Oh, no, we're here. Alright, so this is the first area, which is the Maze Hell, apparently. I don't know what that's about, because Maze Hell doesn't make any sense in the title strength. But anyway, so the idea is you're meant to wander around these dungeons, find items on the ground, open treasure chests, and just try to, you know, get to the end of every dungeon. There's a chest up here. We can try to search it. Yada, yada, yada. It's already taken. Oddly enough, running around is done with the L button, which is strange. But anyway, combat. So, let's talk about how the Criminal Girls system works. Now, Criminal Girls 1 had you select from a selection of different attacks from your different characters that are out at the time. And it's picked at random, more or less, which is, well, it's kind of annoying, honestly, because that means you can't use any particular skill you want at any time. If you could do that, the entire game would be bloody pointless. So, you have to be... Yeah, basically you have to strategize what attack you want to pick first. Well, what attack you want to pick to do your attack with. So, you know, you either have to choose between, like, healing with one, or using a skill, or just getting a regular attack in. There are other things you can do. So I've got 4 party members out at the moment, and if you hit the L button, you can swap to another party member. You can only do 1 swap per turn, but it doesn't actually cost you your turn, which is kind of nice. So I can swap out Urine for Tsukasa, and that'll give me an option to use another spell. but it also changes the things I've got here. You can also use one item per turn, and this also changes the attacks you can use. So, playing this game is a bit of just pissing around with a random number generator, trying to find something you can use that will... trying to find an attack that you actually want to use. So, let's actually use an attack here. That's a skill. I killed it one hit. This is going to be a developing pattern. I've also lost a bunch of speed on that one character down there, so it's probably a good idea I swap her out for Urine, because Urine doesn't have that status debuff. So we can just do a regular attack here, or a regular 2 times attack, which will be 2 people attacking in a row. And that's the end of the fight. You get CM, which is your money, you get experience for all your characters. And it's also worth noting that if you sit on the screen, it will constantly repeat the victory jingle. Told ya. So yeah, that's a basic fight, more or less. Yeah, I didn't like the system that much back in Criminal Girls 1, and I don't like it here either. They did add one new thing to it, but I'm going to have to go into the camp to explain what that is. So here we are in the camp with all the new protagonists of Criminal Girls 2. And it's basically the same as it was in Criminal Girls 1. You can go to the shop to buy and sell things, and it's pretty obvious what all these do. And pretty obvious what you can sell as well. I've got an absolute ton of stuff, and yet I still can't beat this fucking boss. And we can rest to recover our HP and our MP. Strangely enough, it prompts you if you want to rest here, which I don't understand why it does that. Because you pretty much always want to rest whenever you come into the camp. I'm surprised it just doesn't fill up your HP and MP automatically, but... whatever, we'll leave it alone. So, now, if we select Motivate... yes, this does return from the previous game. However, there are also some new things to it. So, the way this works is that you have several different motivation tools. And using these motivation tools will unlock new abilities for your character. So if I hit triangle here, not only do you get to see a preview of what the actual animation is in the middle of the activity, but you get to see what abilities you get. Now, whenever you level it up, you get the opportunity to pick between 2 skills. And these 2 skills have a balance between sadism and masochism. The only difference this makes is to the new in-game combat mechanic. But for the purpose of demonstration, I have all of my team as sadists right now. So, it's... yeah, you can hear weird voices coming from this game. I really should put up a warning saying this is not safe for work, but yeah. So let's actually do one of these activities, shall we? Look at that. Do I remember the button to rotate? Yes, I do. Okay, so this is how this works. Using either the touchscreen or the buttons, you have to rub at the target's clouds for some reason. And unfortunately, on this particular touchscreen minigame, it works like shit. Because the brush is actually really insensitive, and you have to rub it in exactly the right place or it just won't work. And the annoying thing about these activities is that your performance actually determines how much XP you get for doing the activity. It's not just to do this, enjoy yourself, you get whatever at the end. No, depending on how well you do, you actually get experience points. And the better you do, the more experience points you get to level up. So, if you fuck it up, you gotta do it over again. And it actually costs money to do this. And it is honestly the most frustrating thing imaginable, especially when you've been banging your head against a grind wall for a few hours, mainly because you have to be constantly doing these motivational techniques. You have to do these at least twice for every time you want to level something up. Let's do this one. It's the same minigame. I'll do the other minigame next. And I'll show you leveling up an ability, but it's about what you expect it to be. One other thing I want to note about this activity that's weird is that, look at her mouth. It looks like she's saying something, but I think that's actually been censored. Because it looks like she's saying something, but she's actually, like, not. It sounds like they've just, like, cut the audio clip out of the game altogether, which is really weird, considering Criminal Girls 1 had all these, like, purple clouds clouding everything. I'm sorry I forgot to rotate the screen, but you get the general idea. It's just... I don't understand why they felt the need to mute the voices. It's really strange to me. I'm not entirely sure what they were going for there. Anyway, we leveled up completely, so we get to pick the final ability. So, some abilities, doesn't matter if... It just lets you pick between if you want to be a sadist or a masochist. I'm going to be a sadist. It doesn't really matter which one you pick, and we'll get into why that is shortly. But yeah, so that's how it works. You level up and you get all these different abilities, and some of these get you like stat boosts. And you can see, like, on the right, what happens in the middle of these, like, they call them motivation events, but they're clearly something very different. And yes, she does have her head nestled in the girl with the biggest breasts. It's very strange. But yeah. They actually did a really good job with the art. It's using this new technique, or not new technique, new technology called Live 2D, which actually gives the characters a bit more personality and, well, body personality, I should say. The writing isn't particularly great. Speaking of which, I actually did record a couple of cutscenes ahead of time so that you can listen to what the voice acting sounds like. I'm going to play it right now.
何かおかしくありませんか？気のせいじゃなければさっきから同じ道を歩いています。もしかして途中で迷ったんじゃないでしょうか？森なんて全部同じような景色じゃない。このまま歩けばいずれは抜けられるわ。でもあの子も気になることを言いましたよ。今は普通に考えない方がいいと思います。私が間違っていると言いたいのかしら。どうしてそうなるんですか？私は意見を言っただけですよ。ただ今後の方針を決めているだけじゃ。
鬼みたいな顔をしてりゃ子供は怯えるよな。
人聞きの悪いことを言わないでちょうだい。意見が合わないときは多少なりとも揉めるものじゃない。私は1秒でも早くこの地獄から抜けたいの。真剣に話し合って何が悪いのよ。すみません、私が余計なことを言ったせいですね。気にしすぎてるだけかもしれませんし、もう少し進んでみませんか？
先生の点数稼ぎなんて優等生らしいよな。
そうですか？先生の手当てをした司さんの方が優等生だと思いますよ。
すました顔でひん。ここにいても何も変わらないんだろう。とっとと行くぞ。
また同じところだ。もう歩き疲れちゃった。どこまで行けばこの森から抜けられるの？それが分かればいいんですけどね。きっと罪人の仕業よ。この森に隠れて私たちを罠にかけたに違いないわ。あの偽物といい陰険な人たちばかり。この私が直接引導を渡してあげるわ。
やたら元気なのもいるけどな。
そこまで元気があるのなら何か策を考えてはどうですか？私たちはすでに術中にあります。このまま歩いても抜けられない可能性が高いかと。
任せておきなさい。この私にかかれば姑息な罪人なんてあっという間に。思いつかないんですね。なんでもかんでも押し付けないでちょうだい。この私にもできることとできないことがあるのよ。こういう時には 全員の意見を募るものでしょ。他の人はどうなのかしら。急に言われても。
聞く相手を考えろよ。私が何かするわけないだろ。
意見は出なさそうですね。だったら決まりね。何のことですか？何か見逃しているかもしれないでしょ。もう一度同じ道を進むのよ。待ってください。みんなも疲れているのにまだ歩くつもりなんですか？ずっとここにいても何の進展もないわ。何かを仕掛けられたのならその痕跡を見つけるべきよ。さあついてきなさい。この私が正しい道へ導いてあげるわ。あの地震はどこから出るんでしょうか。
私に聞かないでください。無駄骨に終わる可能性が高いと思いますが。
So, yeah, now that we're back here, you've heard the voice acting and you've heard what the cutscenes sound like, and honestly, I'm not too impressed so far. It really does feel like more Criminal Girls. This whole game just feels like more Criminal Girls. That's all this game feels like to me. It's almost exactly the same. However, there is one more thing that I will show you, which is a boss fight, and I'll show you what this new mechanic is that they've added to the combat. And I had a look through the game's manual, which isn't that big, and it has nothing else to imply that there's anything at all in terms of, brain work with me here, like new content or new combat mechanics or something. So, it feels like a really bad retread. It's just, it really just does feel like the same game again, which is kind of disappointing. But anyway, now that we're back in battle, we have a bunch more skills and stuff that we can use, but it's still the same basic concept. You basically just get these skills randomly. However, if you hit the square button, you have the ability to choose how you want to coach your team members. The thing is, the game implies that depending on whether or not they're sadists or masochists, they'll get different benefits or different, well, non-benefits to the particular coachings. Because if you get a bad coaching, you'll lose attack power and defense power. And if you get a good coaching, you'll gain attack power and defense power. So, you need to try and get as many people in the good zone as possible. However, this is just impossible to do. Because it's impossible to set up the girls in such a way where all four of them are going to get buffed at the same time. At least as far as I can tell. Because you have to be constantly... You have to have a very specific party set up in a very specific way to make sure one specific type of coaching is going to work. And it just seems almost impossible to do properly. So, bugger that. Do whatever you want. And just pick whatever the damn hell you feel like, honestly. Because I tried making all my girls masochists, and that still isn't good enough. And making it so that some of them are masochists, some of them are sadists, and some of them get affected by different, what the hell do they call them? Coaches in the same way. It's too complicated to actually matter, so just do whatever the bloody hell you can. Also, this is how you'll guard. Yeah, I didn't even notice that before, but anyway. This is the boss fight with the Treant. Now, the annoying thing about this is I got to this boss fight originally at level 7. And my character is currently level 11. Imagine how much grinding I had to do to get to this point. When I was level 7, I got my ass beat by this thing. I spent over an hour grinding up to the relevant level. And even then, even the most powerful skill I got, which is that one, does that little of the health bar. I don't feel like this difficulty, which is a normal difficulty by the way, they call it normal difficulty. I don't think this difficulty is balanced at all. Especially since my characters are all level 11, and this guy can still take them out in one shot. He's got a move called, Stomp. And this Stomp move can do 110 damage even after I've lowered his attack power. 110 damage is more than any one of my characters have at this point. I have all these items and I'm just going to be blowing through them through this entire boss fight. But the boss fights don't really change much. There are status effects, like you can get poisoned, you can get paralyzed, you can make it so that's impossible to switch out. All 4 of my characters have been paralyzed, by the way, and there's no group healing paralyze option. So basically I just have to roll with the damage. Unless I want to waste 4 turns getting everyone unpoisoned only to get poisoned again. I'd rather just save the turns and use the items to heal everybody up. Because I'll probably end up losing someone if I don't. Yeah, and you gotta remember to re-coach them every couple of turns. Which is even more annoying, honest to God. See, if it was my choice, I'd have my 2 casters out, and they'd be doing the cast spell. They'd be casting the attack and defense down spells constantly. But I simply don't have a choice in the matter. I have to go along with whatever the computer picks at the time, and it is honestly really frustrating. And it just... I mean, in Criminal Girls 1, the game wasn't hard enough to really complain about it. See, look, she just took 52 damage in 1 hit. I can't even, like, guard anymore. I don't think... My characters aren't even capable of guarding anymore. You used to be able to guard when there was a big attack coming in or something like that. But yeah, you can't do that now. Just doesn't happen. It's kind of frustrating, honestly. So basically, to beat this boss, I either have to stock up on an absolute ton of items or waste even more time grinding against it. This is the first dungeon's final boss, by the way. I don't know how many dungeons there are. And I'm not gonna guess, but it just seems like way too much. Considering I already had to grind to get past the final boss of the tutorial dungeon, this just feels like way too much, honestly. And then again, I could go down to the casual difficulty, but they probably call it casual for a reason. The reason being, oh look, they're all good. And I legitimately don't know what causes that. I guess it is possible to get all 4 of them bloody good. Fucking hell. It's a confusing enough system as it is, and I don't even know why I got it there, but anyway. I don't see any point in buying this over the original Criminal Girls. And I don't really see the point in buying the original Criminal Girls because there's tons of better RPGs on the Vita anyway. I do not see the point. Zero point to me. There's no, except for the coaching system, which just frustrates me more than anything else. It just feels like they really haven't made any genuine improvements to the game. It just feels like the same thing over again, and I don't really see the point in that. I'm trying to beat the boss. I might end up being it this time just through sheer dumb luck. Because that's what a ton of the battles in this game feel like. If I could pull out, like, the massive damage attack every single turn, then I could probably win. But I can't. So, yeah. And look, she's dead. Because she took, like, 40-something damage. And you can't determine who's going to get attacked next. Because fuck you. Let's get her out of here. We'll bring in the tank. Lily is the tank. And we better get some coaching out. With how often you have to change party members in this, I just don't see any point in the coaching system. The coaching system feels as random as the attack system. If the coach system was consistent, I'd like it more, but it really isn't. It's just frustrating, really. See, the highest attack of my entire party, and she still takes half her health off, and I met this boss 4 levels ago. It's ridiculous. It really is. And I know people are going to say either A, get good, or B, go down to the casual difficulty. But I don't want to do that. And I don't see the point in doing that. Really. Because that would just make the game so easy to make it a cakewalk. And I don't want to do that. I want some challenge, but challenge is not putting me up to a grind wall and saying, fuck you, do it, or you don't get through the game. Did I miss that? No, I didn't. There is one advancement this game has made, though, which kind of makes grinding a little easier, but still not the best thing in the world. If you hold X after you put in your command, it speeds the game up. But yeah, there's really no point to that. Well, I mean, there is a point to that, but I mean, it doesn't make up for everything else in the game, honestly. Everything else in the game basically being exactly the same. Better put my guards up, but for some reason, guarding in this game costs fucking MP. I don't know why. There is another, like, legitimate improvement in this game, which is the graphics. I mean, thankfully she has a revive spell, but unfortunately, I've only got one MP charge item, so might as well give it back to her. I gotta admit that they've done a good job with not powering up. They've done a good job with improving the game's presentation, especially with the motivation scenes. They look a lot better with the live 2D stuff. It really does look really nice. Sure, it's perverted as fuck, and it's even more perverted as fuck now that the live 2D thing makes them look even more well, not so much realistic, but it's more like actual living things. I'm not gonna say anything against it. I just think it's really fucking creepy. But you know, different strokes for different folks, and it really does look nice. But just like Criminal Girls 1, it really isn't not for full price. I mean, if you wanted to pick this game up for like $10 just to see what it was like, you know, then I might not be too against that. It's just, for full price, I can't justify this to, like, anyone, really. When you can probably buy Criminal Girls 1 for extremely cheap. She's dead again. I'm basically just going to be spamming, like, group heals and revives and shit like that constantly trying to get this boss battle done, but it's not going to help. So it's either I get this girl back up or I risk getting knocked out. She's probably gonna get knocked out. I knew it. I better get her back up. Sure, I could bring in a mage, but with this thing hitting as hard as it does, I do not care. Did it just heal it? It just healed itself. Fucking Christ. I forgot to use an item, yeah. When you can get Criminal Girls 2 for cheaper, this isn't worth anything to me, honestly. I just don't see the point. Right. He's got a big attack coming, which means someone's probably going to die. No matter what I do, but whatever. Yep, 118 damage. And dead. And again, I can't apply any buffs. Because even if I could, I'd have to rely on them randomly coming up. So, yeah. This battle system is way more frustrating when you can't actually win the fight that you need to do to move on in the story. Oh wait, no, that's a magic attack. She's fucking useless with that magic attack. When I was respecking everyone to be sadists in order to like see if the coach system would work better with it, yeah, it didn't really work out so well. Let's use a potion so that I get a different set of attacks to use. This works. Bye, dog. I could have waited until further on to see if the story got any more interesting. It's not really. Like, not that interesting. Just so far, at the very least. It's just... I find little reason to care when this game is so much like Criminal Girls 1 anyway. That I don't see the point. Admittedly though, the initial period, like the first couple of hours, the first 30 minutes of this game are actually a lot faster than the previous game. You have all your party members within like 30 minutes of the game starting, which is actually kind of good. Which is like one of the only praises I can give this game. I forgot the coach again. Do I actually stand a chance of winning this fight? I might not. Down goes Tsukasa. Alright, let's get her out of there. I only just finished grinding to level 11 from level 7, by the way. This is why it looks like I'm actually going to win this fight. But this is me we're talking about. I'll find some way to screw it up. Lily is down. By the way, people, you do gain XP from fights. It's just that anyone who's gone down during the fight won't actually get XP. So, yeah, enjoy that. Oh look, I actually won. And now all my other characters are way behind on their XP growth. And there is now a new kind of motivation. We get to meet up with this pain in the ass. And I'm just going to skip the rest of these events, because there's really no point to them. And we get to move on to the second dungeon, but yeah. Honestly, I don't care. I really don't care anymore. It's the same game as Criminal Girls 1, and I just find myself being more and more frustrated with it the more I realize that. So, not to mention the difficulty seems to be a pile of arse, at least on normal, and if you want to go down to easy, be my guest. But this feels like it should be a hard mode, not a normal mode. Yeah. Whatever, I'm done. I got nothing. I cannot be bothered. Let's just quick save and see what happens. No, it actually does take you back to the title screen. There you go. So yeah. I'd recommend you pick up the first game over this one, just because you'll be able to find the first one cheaper and it's the same bloody game. That's basically it. So this has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.